There have always been a lot of reasons to go to the Black Hills. My friend Gary Coe, if you and I were talking about history, we could say, well, gold brought people here years ago, and now Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse and Sylvan Lake and Custer State Park. But there are a couple of new things that you're doing that people will, well, they're already coming.
Yes, they are.
Gary and his wife Sandy are the owners of the Homestake Mansion, and more recently the Homestake Roundhouse, which has now become the Homestake Chop House.
Well, actually it was called the Deadwood Fort Pierre Roundhouse.
Okay.
And when we took over that restaurant, we named it Homestake Chop House because Homestake built that whole area. I mean, the Homestake mine came in, they built Deadwood, they built Lead, probably most of the northern hills, and yet that name has been slowly disappearing from the landscape. But they are the gold mine, and it's kind of interesting now because after all these years, I'd say Homestake, and very few people even know how to spell it. They think it's Homesteak, like steak.
Well, but you've kind of turned that corner, haven't you?
So anyway, yeah. So that's kind of the name.
Well, Gary and Sandy are hosts that are exceptional, and I just want to share with you as you're listening, if you are planning a family reunion, a wedding, some kind of a wonderful event, the historic Homestake Mansion is a spectacular place.
Yes, it is.
And Gary and Sandy just put the frosting on the cake. They know how to make an event a memorable event. And if the Homestake Mansion weren't enough, you can go from there. You can walk. It's within a couple of blocks to the Homestake Chop House, where you can get what people are saying is the best steak in western South Dakota, certainly.
That's what they tell us. I mean,
I've had it,
by our customers.
And you got my vote.
No, it's been amazing. We bought the mansion in 2011, and we felt it was the Lord that opened the door to that purchase. It was like we were coming back home to the Black Hills ourselves. And so we bought that, refurbished it, and began to have some events and weddings, reunions. Just a lot of really neat things began to happen. But then we began to notice the Roundhouse restaurant wasn't really, it wasn't making it essentially, and yet it was a beautiful facility. The gentleman that
it's magnificent
that restored that, or actually built it out, spent between $3 and $4 million on that build out, and it is gorgeous. I mean, we have people coming from major cities that say it's as pretty or nicer than any restaurant in their city, which is hard for me to believe. But
well, and not only is it the most spectacular facility you can imagine, the food is amazing. Now, if you're lucky enough that to get a piece of Sandy's pie, that will be something you won't soon forget. You'll write home about it. But not only steaks and desserts, you're doing a wonderful job with seafood and pastas. And it will be, just dining at the Homestake Chop House is an experience. And I'm not saying that because it's in my script. I'm saying it, Gary, because my wife Connie and I have been there.
Yes,
and we are anxious to go back. You should be anxious to go. And Gary, your website will be on the screen. Is there anything you'd like to share with our listeners before we go?
Well, I just want to say that we love doing what we're doing. It was a challenge at our age to take on such a project, but it's been a real joy. I mean, seeing the people come in and being able to see them enjoy our food. And the thing is, they want to know what our secret is. Our secret is we buy good meat.
Well, and the other secret is Sandy Coe. You need to go there and experience this for yourself.